name is Holly. I really enjoy doing this collage for holistic health. I did it on the 7 dimensions of health, and I used watercolored pencils to do it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I'll start with physical health. I drew a picture of myself riding my bike in the mountains. At one point I had ridden 205 miles from Colorado to Utah, and I feel like that really gave me a lot of confidence, which I think physical activity does for you. What I took away from this class about physical activity is the fact that it puts you into the sympathetic state, but it's kind of like the calm after a storm, the benefits of it, as far as the physiological benefits afterward. It's like my ability to focus and ability to maintain body temperature and all of these wonderful benefits. I think physical activity might be the most important dimension of health. In the future, I would like to continue having a routine for myself. I tend to let it slip a lot of the time, putting it aside, which we all do. Just having that included in every day will just help a lot with my stamina and focus. So the next dimension that I drew was about mental health, and I find my mental benefits through college. So I drew a picture of a person with an open mind and an open third eye chakra, and with a book spilling its contents above. This is my representation of college and how it just expands my mind and challenges me intellectually and socially, getting to meet people from different backgrounds and hearing constructive criticism and from teachers and everything. Is just a wonderful way to stay on top of mental health. The next dimension that I did was on familial and social dimensions. I drew a picture of heartstrings, which would be these connections between the heart chakra, which is green. It represents one person on one side of the world opening their heart and being vulnerable and sharing kindness, and how that creates a ripple effect and affects people on the other side of the world. I really enjoyed the discussions and lessons that we learned about vulnerability and creativity and courage and opening our hearts and creating kindness. I also drew a picture of people making eye contact with each other, and that was another chapter that I really enjoyed, was learning about techno-stress and how it really takes away from our physical communications. So this was my representation of familial and social. From this class, I have definitely learned to open my heart up more to people, and also use cognitive reframing and restructuring to change my thoughts from negative to positive ones before judgment and the ego comes above all of that. So this class has really benefited me in that way, and just remembering vulnerability. I've also shared that talk from Bryn Brown with my mom, who then shared it with her support group. So it's already been spread, like the ripple effect. In the future, I would like to keep working on opening my heart to people and not closing it off upon first appearance. So I'll keep working on opening my heart and keeping it open. The next dimension of health that I did, I'll turn this back around, was financial dimension of health. I had a hard time drawing my representation of the financial dimension. It is something that is hard to talk about, money. Like we learned, it's uncomfortable for a lot of people. But I drew a picture of a tree, an apple tree, and hands receiving fruit from the tree, in a way that finances take balance and hard work, and if you invest and save and put your work and time into it, it will feed you back or give back. So it's just a balance of giving and receiving, which I feel like I do well with my finances, and try to live simply, and cook a lot of my own food, and save for investments like college and higher education and healthy food. That's important too. That leads me to my last dimension of health, vocation.
You skipped one. Spirituality.
Oh yeah, spirituality. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
cameraman. I forgot one. I skipped over spirituality, which is my favorite dimension actually. That's this one right here. I find my spirituality in nature, and I drew a picture of a woman emerging from the water of a lake and the mountains and the sun and the moon inside of the palm of a hand in the sky, because my spiritual practice is in nature, and I feel like we are all infinitely connected with nature and everything that surrounds us. So something that I took away from to better my spiritual practice from the textbook was Carl Jung's philosophy and of dream work, and sort of the unconscious surfacing within dreams, and reaching deeper into what we don't know about. Another favorite philosopher of mine was Viktor Frankl, and his idea of finding a meaning in everything, so that we can tackle stressors by just finding that everything happens for a reason. So that has really helped my spiritual practice, and in the future I would like to incorporate more meditation and more yoga, which would also tie into my physical dimension. So then we went over financial health, and the last one is vocational health, which ties into my 3 highest values of gardening and living sustainable and connecting myself and others with nature, reconnecting with nature. So I drew a farm with people working together to grow something beautiful, to grow food, and right up here this says this is how we are going to make it together. And I think it takes a village to raise a child. That's saying it takes more than one to build something beautiful, and we all have to work together. And I think reconnecting with our roots and with nature is a really beautiful way to connect the community. So in the future, I would love to create a community, or get the community involved in gardening, and perhaps start a permaculture site somewhere so that we can hold workshops and teach. So that is the 7 dimensions of health and my perspective, and deep reflections of myself. Thank you so much for the opportunity to let us be creative in our final project. I had a great time. Thank you.